Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. We have our technical assistance session happening right now, and we are going to roll right away. I do have another TA session for a different program at 3 o'clock, so we only get an hour today. If you have questions that relate to specific participants, I will answer those after we stop the recording, and let me know if you need to ask a question, please ask it, but try to reserve specific people questions until after we stop the recording. So a couple of things that I want to talk about today is when you are done with a youth, if the youth is done participating, if you know that there's no chance that they will come back next year, please exit them, because what's happening is youth are going to other providers, other agencies, and they don't know that it's the same program. And two agencies cannot serve the same youth with the DHS youth dollars. Am I correct in that, Brandon?
I'm sorry, can you say again?
Two providers cannot provide services for one youth.
Oh, right.
At the same time.
Right, definitely not.
Okay, so if the youth is gone, like they've ghosted you, and you've tried every form of communication that you can, exit them, discharge them from your program, put that you can no longer find the youth. And to do that, you would go to the customer's profile and you would discharge them on the progress page. So you would pick it right here, you would discharge them, and either unable to locate youth, grant program ended, you've decided not to participate, whatever the reason is, put a reason in there. Now, the other thing that you need to do, and we discovered this today, that a participant had stopped with one agency and has moved on to another agency, but the career plan, especially the work site placement steps, all have to be done. So if you discharge a youth, you need to go into their steps and services and either delete them if you never did anything with it. So click this red X, or you need to, if they actually started one, I'm trying to find one here that was actually started. I don't have any. So if it was actually started, then you would need to mark it as either successfully completed or unsuccessfully completed, especially if it is in this gain employment, because otherwise, if another agency picks up that youth and enrolls them, you no longer have access to that customer's services, and the new agency cannot mark those services as completed either. So you need to complete all of the work on a youth. If you're going to discharge them, you need to clean up and close out their career plan as well. And that will allow the subsidized wage days to be accurately reflected for the new agency, and it will allow your PPR for those customers to be accurately reflected as well. So that's if you want to exit a youth. Now, on the application, we've discovered a couple of anomalies. It is working, One agency sent me an email over the weekend, and so I was working with them because I happened to be working on Sunday, and I discovered that entering the social security number on the search customers, like so on the add customer, if you put in their first name, last name, date of birth, email if they have it, the provider, whoever you are, and the zip code, if you added the social security number and it comes back with, can't find that youth or they're associated with another agency, take the social security number out and then continue searching for that customer. Try one more time without the social security number. I discovered that that is something that has been happening. I have programmers addressing it, but at this moment, we are able to get around it by not having the social security number. Now, today, I had an email from an agency that they wanted me to release a youth from participation with another agency. I looked at the case notes, I looked at the career plan for activity, and I replied, and it was discovered that the youth was still actively participating with the original agency. So just because that youth wants to come to your agency, we need to do some due diligence with that youth and the other agency to make sure that they aren't actively participating, actively still participating, and that the youth understands that they can't be with two agencies at one time. If they are dissatisfied with the original agency, they probably haven't been communicating with them, and I won't see case notes, I won't see activity. And so at that point, I'm a little bit more confident in discharging that youth from the original agency. But I will be forwarding communication to both agencies in reply to your emails, as I did today with that specific agency. The other thing that that I want to tell you about the application is, if you are searching for a youth, if you're trying to search for an existing customer, the youth does not have to create an account prior to you adding the youth. The search looks for existing accounts, but they don't have to actually go in and just create an account to be able to work with you. This is more about finding out if somebody's already in the system. So when you go through this whole process on the screen of adding the name and address, it will look for existing ones, but it will also create an account for anybody new to the system. Also, when you have the application, originally what you could do was email the application to people, and that function is not working correctly right now. I have programmers working on that. So my suggestion to you is, do not try to email the application to anyone. Don't expect them to do it until I tell you further. We do have a paper application available on the ISET's partner page, the DHS Youth partner page. So you can have them fill out the paper version and you can data enter it later, or you can actually go through the process and complete the application with the youth. One thing that we did is, on here, you can complete the application. If you added the youth and moved on, you can come back here and complete the application with the customer, but don't send it to them by email because it's not working right now. I've got programmers working on that. Okay, does everybody get that whole piece? Okay, let's take a look and see what's in the chat. Thank you, Toby. We were told in a previous TA meeting, do not delete services. Yes, and that's true, Lorena, because the youth who are working with you may come back to you. But if they've gone on to another agency, they're not going to come back. And so in that case, you can delete them, but for performance sake, for performance purposes, for the PPR, what you truly want to do is go to a service, a step or a service. Let me go to one here that you would truly just mark this as evaluated, not required, and mark a couple of zeros and then update the customer service. So this is the preferred way to do it. So I get what you're saying to me. I truly get that. But this is a longer method, even if you use the customer services report. Brandon did type into the chat that the KC Life Skills people, the trainers from ICOI, are learning as much as they can about the changes to KC Life Skills. And they are going to offer an updated training on May 24th and June 21st. We don't know how many spots are going to be available because these are actual training sessions. It's not just an update. So I'm hoping that maybe by the 17th of May, we might be able to have an ICOI person on our TA session to let you know about the differences, the updates, the changes to KC Life Skills. All right, so that's the things that we have to talk about, that I have on my list to talk about today. Brandon, did you have anything else that you want to bring up for anyone? Oh, and I want to thank Darrell for sending a copy of his PPR and copying me on the email, because we have been testing the PPR and we are making some adjustments, and it's allowing us to make sure that the digital version of the PPR is working properly. So I'm hoping that within a week or two, we'll have those numbers purring like a smooth machine here. And then you can run your numbers, see what you need to put on your PPR. And Drell asked for the moon and said, hey, could we just output that to a report? And that's probably phase 2. We'll see what we can do with that, but it's not going to happen right away. So that's my updates. Are there any additional questions from anyone that we can answer and continue with the recording?
I had a question, Dee.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for the sign up and application, thank you for kind of breaking down the application process as of now. So when we go into the DHS partner page to look up the actual signups or enrollees, so like, yeah, that right there.
Yes.
So those who have signed up, will they appear even without an application being done, or will they not appear until the application is completed?
Are you meaning in this list here?
Yes.
you'll only see people that are associated with your agency.
Okay.
So I'm logged in as a super admin. I'm logged in as if it was me logged in to the system. So I see all of the people that are in the system. So
Okay.
you would only see the participants from your agency. So you could filter from up here to look
Mhm.
for a participant that may have already been in your system, or when you add a customer. So let me try to add, Charlie Chamberlain here. Oh, wait, I need to get some more information.
So I guess the question I'm kind of alluding to, I had a student or a participant who I was trying to look up, and I see that he already had a profile made, but he was not popping up when I was trying to look him up. He has not completed his application yet. He only completed the sign up portion. So it's
What do
either
you
he
mean the
got
sign up portion
on the worknet when you just sign up and
where you create the account?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you were trying to add him here,
Mhm.
it wasn't finding him?
Right. It said that he had an account made, but when I was putting it, like typing in his name, his username or his worknet ID, it still wasn't showing.
Did it show over here in a list over here?
None at all.
Yeah, Dee, that's the exact same problem I'm having. This is Sarah. I think I've emailed you about it, but where they are in the system with an account, but I can't add them to IEP to complete the application. It's like it doesn't find them.
So,
And also to me too, Dee, also, and just to piggyback off of them, and when I do find an account, it's graying out the option to send the application or complete it with the participant also.
okay, let's, as soon as we get done with the recording, let me take a look at a couple of those. So if you guys can find a name with some information so that I can look, then we'll just kind of like try to resolve this. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to get my programmer to join us as well. So let me get let me get a message off to him and see. All right, and then all right, so I sent that to him. What else was I gonna do? Oh, this is bad. Okay.
I have a question, D. Once a participant has completed the application, is there any point within the program that that person has to submit another application? Do they have to resubmit applications every year?
Did you close them out last year?
No.
Then no.
So if they are closed, so if they're closed out of the program, they will have to submit a new application to reopen.
If you close them out, yes. If you discharge them, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Lou Williams, were you trying to ask a question?
Yes, I actually wanted him to repeat his question because I had came in like right in the middle. So I was just trying to see if I get a repeat on that.
He asked if a youth participant needs to submit a new application annually. Right, Hakeem, was that basically what you were saying?
Yes, is it required for youth to resubmit a application annually?
And the answer is no, unless you discharge the youth. Because you can just change the program enrollment to a different level. Like if you're going from category 1 to category 2, you can just change the enrollment. All right, let's see what else do we have over here. Lorena is asking if they should hold back on taking the Casey Life Skills regular training. Should they wait until updates take place before they sign up?
Hi, Dee. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I tried to just reply and put something in the chat, but evidently I just accidentally replied to just one person. So only that one person saw it. Sorry about that. And it wasn't even the question that one person was asking, but I'll go ahead and address that also because a lot of people have asked about it. So first, the Casey Life Skills, you only have to be trained once. That's the requirement of the grant. After you are trained once, it is optional after that if you want to be trained again or not. And it's only mandatory for the agency staff who are working in direct services, so like case management roles, that you be trained in the Casey Life Skills, because all of the youth, of course, will be taking the Casey Life Skills, and you'll be using that as part of the case management and goal setting and case individual case plans and everything. The other question is about the FY23 continuation application, or a lot of people ask about the new NOFO. I mean, technically, there is no new NOFO, because a NOFO is a competitive bid, as it was in 2020 when IYP began. So that won't happen again until FY24. So there's no new NOFO. But there will be another continuation app or a renewal application for IYP. And I was literally working on that before this began and emailing our director with questions back and forth about that, either later this week, or I hope by the end of this week it'll be out, or it'll be the beginning of next week at the very latest. But I can go ahead and tell you it is going to be very similar to last year, where you're only going to have to update your original application. So changes to the program plan. You'll have to fill out all those appendices again, all the appendix, A, B, C, all the executive summary and that. And then do the budget and ICQ and PRA, but it won't be a whole new application. So it'll be a very similar process to last year, and it's going to be mainly changes or updates. And like I said, I hope that'll be out by the end of the week, by Friday. But if it's not, then hopefully by Monday. And everyone will receive an individual email. It's not going to be the mass group email. So each agency, I'll email you all individually.
Okay, so we have another question. When it comes to the assessments like Employment 101 or the self-evaluation or the essential employability skills, some of them can be redone just as a touch base. for where the youth is. Casey Life Skills could be redone. Brandon, is it required that they have the youth redo the Casey Life Skills as a touch point for what needs to be worked on that year?
No, it is not required. We said it's on an individual basis. So based on that youth, whether or not you think they need to retake the Casey Life Skills. But now that summer and category 1 starting up, and I know that a lot of people have asked about re-enrolling or returning youth from last summer, those youth should be reassessed because it's been a year and you're going to be enrolling them again. You're going to be counting them as enrolled youth. So, I mean, those youth should be reassessed if they haven't done anything in a year. A lot could change in a year.
So if you have a down here and wherever the Casey Life Skills are, if you have these services that were completed last year, successfully completed, and the date is last year, all you have to do on that is go back up here to the top and add the service again for this year. And that way it will update it. If you want them to do a new self-evaluation, that's easy. It's 10 questions. They're done in 5 minutes probably. So you can have them do that again. You should do, if you put them in a new work site, you should do work site evaluations for every job, not just once. It's best practice to have them do it for every single job. Employment 101 will track forward. So you don't necessarily have to have them do that. If they didn't score well on the post assessment, say they only scored a 72, so have them take a post assessment again and see if they score better. This is just beneficial. It's not going to make any tracking difference if they don't retake the Employment 101 again. If they do any other assessments, you can add them down here. So that will allow you to add those services again. Now, Nancy asked, can't we reopen them on the application page so they won't need a new application? The application, if it's the same agency, the application doesn't have this edit this section. It's closed. It's there. It's locked down. So on here, on the progress page, as long as you did not discharge them, they're still active. If you are doing a new step or service for them on their career plan, the dates, like I said, you can add a new service and the dates will reflect what happens with them. So Nancy, did that answer your question? And then, okay, Sharonda says, how do they do the assessments and do they, okay, Sharonda, did we answer that one for you?
Yes, you did. You just answered it. Thank you.
Okay. John Long is asking, Brandon, programs that received summer surge funds, can they receive an advance for those programmatic items? Thanks.
Yes, those that were approved for summer surge funds will receive an advance once the budget is approved and signed off and everything.
All right, Chelsea.
That was part of the program. Yes.
Sorry, Brandon, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, I said that was part of the program intentions. So I mean that's in the works anyway.
All right. Chelsea, you patiently had your hand up for a while. I'm sorry. What's your question?
No, it's okay. So this was kind of what we talked about in the email thread that we talked about this past week. It was about Tyshawn Wormley. I expressed that I did contact UCAN and they stated that they exited him out a minute ago, but still in my system, it says that he's still with the provider UCAN. And I have been unable to enroll him into our program because of that reason.
Did you try doing it without the social security number?
I don't put the social security number in there whenever I put in a new customer.
All right, so I'll have to double check when we're done with recording.
Okay.
I'll stay on with you guys and I'll check some of these participants.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. LaDon, the answer was you can do it on an as needed basis if they are repeating from last summer and coming back for this summer. And if you need to, if they completed all of their steps from last summer, you can just add back the ones that you need to by adding a step or service here. Did that answer your question? Okay. Newly enrolled youth would need a KC Life Skills assessment. Are you saying that they're coming in and they've got it in their system from last year? And you can see it, but you can't edit it?
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm speaking of new youth who have never taken the KC Life Skills. They're going through the intake process for the first time. And so I was wondering with the new KC Life Skills, assessment that rolled out, are we to administer that one or wait for the training, or like, what are we, to do? I think we were waiting for some guidance, and well, that's what I was told, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any at this point. So I may have missed it during this conversation, and I just wanted to touch bases regarding it.
All right. Brandon, do you have any guidance for everyone about that?
There was a detailed email sent out by Chanel Dotson that coordinates the site visits, and she's our coordinator with ICOI for IYP. So it would have come from her, I believe. I know it came from ICOI, and it talked about all the changes and what you have to do. If you don't think you received that email, please email me and I will be happy to send it to you so you have that information. That'd be a good starting point. And then I would say from there, if you feel comfortable with the changes, I don't believe the assessment itself. It's just the actual the website and everything that has changed and how it's administered. But
okay, so Shavana said that she did not receive the email. If you did not receive the email, please put a message to everyone in the chat, and then I can forward the chat recording to Brandon so that he can send you those emails. So check your emails, check your junk, and look to see if you received the email from Chanel about the details for KC Life Skills.
yes, and I'm looking for the email right now too. So
Monique, what are you saying about it? It's an application now with the new toolkit?
Yes, so with the new KC Life Skills, I'm hoping I read it as clear as I possibly could and kind of got an understanding, but with the new toolkit, you have to download it, and it's an actual application it's like 16 pages, asking the participants some of the same general questions. I'm assuming that the other KC Life Skills did. And then there is a separate PDF on giving you instructions on how to score it. So you have to score it yourself. So they have a short assessment, KC Life Skill assessment, and then they have the long extended version, which covers all of those categories, how the original KC Life Skills works. I hope I'm saying this correctly, or you understand me.
And we had this discussion last TA session, after we had ended the recording. So that's why some of you may have left the meeting. We discovered that that had happened and that information was there. So, all right, so if you guys can continue entering whether or not you had the email or not. Chelsea, do you have another question, or did you just not put your hand down?
Oh, no, I don't. I apologize.
Okay, all right. So are there any other questions before I go look at how we're adding some of the people? And where those people are either showing up or not showing up? Okay, I'm going to stop the record. Oh, Anthony, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry, Dee. I had a question. I was trying to get some clarification on a question that I had presented to Brandon last week regarding whether or not we had individuals.
Tell those people in your office to be quiet.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Let me just step out for a second. I'm sorry. So y'all talking in every room. Okay, I'm sorry. Look like they got a meeting going on in every room of the building. So here the question to Brandon was that if we had a client that came to us in a previous fiscal year, they're in school, and then they came to us the following year, could we still service them in category 1 if they were from the summer? And I know that Brandon answered it by saying before that if the client had never gone to any other program or any other category, he only was in category 1, the following year, he would only have the days remaining from the previous year. But then the second question was posed to us was that, well, what if you have a customer that was in school, they completed a portion of category 1, and then maybe they came back to us 2 years later. Could we service that individual if they were out of school? Or is it just based on strictly every client will receive only 90 days, no matter what fiscal year it is? And then if we wanted to work with that individual, they would have to go into the categories 2, 3, and 4.
Brandon, did you hear all that?
I think so. I found this email about the Casey Life Skills, and I am sending it to everyone in the chat almost far. Got to get caught up with a couple more people. And then I'll send it out to everyone about the Casey Life Skills changes. Yes, to the question, I believe it was if they were enrolled in category 1 last summer. So I always use the example, if a youth was enrolled in category 1 and used 50 subsidized days, then they have 40 subsidized days remaining for category 1. And it always goes by the category of enrollment. So if they've already used all 90 days, then as long as your agency does another category, so you do categories 2, 3, or 4, then you could transfer them and they would have that many. Like category 2 is 270 days. So they would have 270 minus whatever they had done in the category 1 previously. And it is for the entirety of the program. It's per youth and not per fiscal year. So it doesn't matter if it's been 2 years since they enrolled, or they just enrolled a few weeks ago. It's tied to the youth for the entirety of the program. That it doesn't ever get reset.
So to summarize, they can be re-enrolled in category 1, whether they are in school or out of school,
Right.
as long as they are still 24 years old or younger. And they get only 90 subsidized days total, no matter how many times they get enrolled.
Right.
That can be upgraded to category 2, 3, or 4.
Right. And you would still subtract those days using category 1 from the allotment in category 2 or category 3.
Okay, Anthony, I had to mute you because there was too much party going on. So
Okay,
So D, can I get an understanding of this? So if I move a youth to category 2, he's completed category 1, he's completed his 90 days in category 1, and he's moved to category 2. This summer, if he wants, if we allow him to work during the summer, those days will count off his category 2. 270 days minus the 90 days that he completed in category 1.
yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you for watching today.
Dee, I have one question.
Yes.
We have a client, this is a new client. This client name is Chad Hunter. We've been trying to pull him up.
Jesse,
Yes.
I don't talk about specific customers while I am recording. I'm going to end the recording and then we can talk about specific customers. Okay. And Toby put a message in the chat that all the meetings have been canceled. They haven't been canceled. I did an update, and if you ever need to see what meetings are happening where, it's always on the partner page. Okay, Toby.
Okay, I just got like a long email with a whole list of view message, and all of the ones that were scheduled for the next Tuesdays for the next several months, all have been canceled. It's just basically saying they've been canceled. So I was just wondering if they were going to be rescheduled.
Yeah, so when I scheduled these items in Zoom, the easiest way to do it was to schedule it every single week and then delete the in-between weeks. That was the easiest way. Otherwise, I have to go in and schedule the first Tuesday of every month, and then I have to go make another one for the second Tuesday of every month.
I've got to go back in my calendar and delete all these meetings because I put them in.
Oh, yeah. So we're only doing, I had put on there not to notify everybody. So I apologize for that. You know, sometimes calendaring is a pain in the buttuckus.
Okay, because I got you guys scheduled all through June. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now can I cancel the recording and move on to the let's talk about people kind of thing? All right. Akeem's saying go for it. So
can I just ask you one thing before you go, Dee? This is
yes, ma'am.
from Angel of God. So I was with you and Brandon 90 days. So where'd you get that 200 days from? So is it 90 days total for the youth? What did that 200 days come from? So is it 9 days plus 200? I missed a little teeny bit of it. So if you could just.
Akeem, are you with Angel of God?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you straighten out Davita for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Davita, yeah. after they complete the summer youth program, it's 90 days in category 1. When they graduate to category 2, if we choose to graduate them to category 2, they have 270 subsidized days that we can use in category 2.
Except you have to subtract the
The
90 days
days.
that they used in category 1.
So for example, if we have a category 2 customer that is going to work this summer's youth,
Mhm.
we would start that customer at 270 days, subtract the days, the 90 days that they worked last summer, which would give them the remainder of 90 subtracted from 270.
Very clear. I am right at the moment. Very, very clear. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Good job. Thank you, Hakeem, for doing my work for me. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching the recording. And we will stop the recording now and go to talk about individual customers, and have a great rest of your day if you are watching the recording.